Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel UN College Digital Class. So in today's video, I am going to discuss about principles of insurance. Before this video, I have discussed what do we mean by insurance and what are the parties of the insurance. Let us give me a nutshell about it. So insurance is a contract between two parties and the two parties are insurer and insured. Okay. So insurer agrees to compensate to the insured against any loss which may or may not happen. In order to compensate that loss, beforehand the insured have to pay premium to the insurer. Without any premium, no compensation will be given. So under this I have also discussed about some terms of insurance like insurer, insured, insured amount and premium, compensation. All this have been discussed in the last class. So in today's video I will discuss the principles of insurance. We will cover the principles of insurance in two classes. Okay. So in today's class we will discuss three principles of insurance. So let's move towards it. So basically there are 7 principles of insurance. Principle means we all know certain rules and regulations which everybody have to follow. Both the parties should follow the principles of insurance contract, otherwise the insurance will be invalid, null or void. So in order to make a insurance contract valid, the principles of insurance should be followed. So there are 7 principles of insurance: principle of utmost good faith, principle of insurable interest, principle of indemnity, principle of subrogation, principle of causa proxima, principle of mitigation of loss, and the last one is principle of contribution. Among these 7 principles, I will discuss the first 3 principles today, okay, and in the next video I will discuss the other rest 4 principles. So let's start with it. First one is principle of utmost good faith. So by the name we are understanding that here the principle is talking about faith, trust or belief. Okay. So this principle tells that both the parties to the insurance contract should disclose all the material facts with each other. So related to insurance contract, whatever the facts which are material, which are related, that should be disclosed by both the parties to each other. So here a word comes material facts. So what is material fact? Material fact means those facts which affect the decision of either or both the parties to contract whether to enter or not to enter into the contract. Okay, these are known as the material facts. Like for example, if a person having 3rd stage of cancer, if he would go to take a life insurance, obviously anyone can expect that he or she won't live much longer. So here the patient or the potential insured should disclose this fact that I am having the 3rd stage of cancer. So regarding this, the premium amount will be decided. If this fact will not be presented in front of the insurance company and afterwards the insurance company knows about it, then the insurance contract will be declared as null and void. Okay. This is the principle of utmost good faith, which says that the material facts should be disclosed which may or may not decide whether to enter into a contract in either of the parties. Okay. So here in this case the insurer, the insurance company also disclose the some certain terms and conditions which can change the decision of the insured also. Okay. So let's move to the next slide. So this principle tells both the parties should have the same state of mind while entering into contract. So both the parties should sign the contract autonomously. There should not be any force, there should not be any coercion, and this principle also states that there should not be any concealment. Concealment means hiding something, misrepresentation, half disclosure or fraud regarding to the subject matter to be insured. Otherwise the contract would be null and void. Okay. If the facts won't be disclosed and afterwards it comes out, then one party or both the parties should declare the contract as null and void. So for example, if in case of life insurance contract, the insured must disclose the following like name, address and his occupation, his lifestyle habits, if he is smoking, drinking or something, information about his health, quantum of his income, family history, etc. So family history is needed for what? Because there are certain hereditary diseases like thalassemia, like diabetes, which can also cause the decision of the insurer, potential insurer, towards entering into a contract or not. So family history is also important. Quantum of income means which quantity, what is the quantity the person earns, if he or she earns wages, or he or she gets salary, how much bonus he gets, in which position he is doing a job, etc. His lifestyle, which lifestyle he is maintaining, his drinking habit, smoking habit, this should be discussed with the insurer. Against which insurer should also disclose the terms and conditions related to the insurance contract, so that the insured can also decide whether he should enter into the contract or not. Okay. So basically insurance contract is a two-sided contract, it is not a one-side contract. Like in a sale of goods act, if we take into consideration sale of goods act, that is known as caveat emptor, we all have heard this thing. So caveat emptor means in a particular sale contract, the responsibility is with the buyer itself. If any type of loss happens, then the buyer only have to bear the loss. But insurance is not one-sided contract, this is a two-sided contract. So both the parties should follow the principle of utmost good faith. Let's move to the next principle. So next principle is the principle of insurable interest. Principle of insurable interest says that no person can enter into a contract of insurance unless he had an insurable interest in the subject to be insured. The insurable interest is understood as an interest in the preservation of a thing or continuation of a life may insure that object or life. Insurable interest means it is a kind of pecuniary interest. So what is pecuniary interest? Pecuniary interest means financial interest. So this principle basically tells that if someone is taking insurance for a subject matter or a life, so that subject matter or life should have some type of pecuniary effect on the insured. Pecuniary interest means financial interest. Like if I am taking a insurance for my factory, I am taking a fire insurance for my factory, then only it will be considered as insurable interest, because if loss happens to my factory, then loss will be mine, I will face financial loss. So but I cannot take fire insurance for anyone whom I don't know. Okay. So this principle of insurable interest tells that the parties taking insurance contract should have insurable interest or pecuniary interest or financial interest in the subject matter which is going to be insured. So it follows that the person can have an insurable interest only when he would get benefit financially by the continuation of the object. So if my factory is going to continue, then I will get financial interest out of it. So I can take insurance contract regarding my factory. Okay. So in other words, he would be put to the financial loss by the happening of the event against subject matter. Principle of insurable interest says that this is not only a sentimental interest, it means some emotional interest cannot be taken into consideration, there should be financial interest. So this principle basically tells the loss should be quantitative in nature, it should not be in qualitative manner. If the loss can be measured in financial terms, then only it will be known as insurable interest. For example, like a child have an insurable interest in the life of his father, a person has unlimited interest in his own life. In case of fire insurance, the owner of the property has insurable interest in the factory, a wife has insurable interest in the life of her husband and vice versa. These are the certain examples of insurable interest. So next, move to the next principle, that is principle of indemnity. So all insurance contracts except life insurance are the contracts of indemnity. So before going to principle of indemnity, I am going to tell you one thing, that is insurance, making insurance is not an investment. Okay, in investment we invest our money in something to earn profit. Okay, so investment is the sacrifice of money today to earn profit in future, but insurance is not an investment because this is not made for earning any profit. How? Like I am taking a fire insurance and after some time my factory got fire and I lost 2 lakh rupees. Okay, so my loss amount is 2 lakh rupees. Then I will go to insurance company for compensation. Then the insurance company will compensate maximum to maximum 2 lakh rupees na. So in this case we are not gaining any profit. We lost 2 lakh rupees and we are getting 2 lakh rupees. So plus or minus is cancelled here. So the thing which I am telling is insurance is not an investment. It is done for having protection against any loss. Okay. So let's go to principle of indemnity. Insurance contracts are not done for profit. So having an insurance is not an investment. It is a means of protection against any future contingencies or any future emergency situation. So insurance cannot be permitted to make any profit out of the loss. The loss only can be compensated. So principle of indemnity says that either the loss amount or the amount insured, whichever is less, will be compensated. So here an example is given. If the goods are insured for rupees 10,000 rupees, it means I have made an insurance for rupees 10,000 and I have incurred a loss of rupees 5,000. So there are two amounts, 10,000 which is the insured amount and 5,000 which I incurred the loss. So in this case the insurance company will only compensate me 5,000 rupees, because this is what the principle of indemnity is. Either the insured amount or the loss amount, whichever is lower, that will be compensated. Here the lower amount is 5,000 rupees, that's why 5,000 rupees will be compensated. So if we take into consideration another example, like I have make an insurance contract for my factory that my insured amount is 5 lakh rupees. Okay, my insured amount is 5 lakh rupees and I got a loss of 7 lakh rupees. I incurred a loss of 7 lakh rupees. So in this case the insurance company will compensate me only 5 lakh rupees because the insured amount was 5 lakh rupees. So this is how the principle of indemnity follows. This says that either the loss amount or the actual amount, whichever is lower, that will be compensated. So principle of indemnity is one of the most important principle which both the parties should follow. If this principle would not have been present, then people would have started making profit out of insurance contract, but making insurance contract is not a type of investment. So this type of principle have been made. Okay, so if this principle would not have been followed, then there will be a constant temptation on the part of the insured. Okay, if I will take insurance contract, then I will be getting benefited, I will get profit. So this principle of indemnity is the most important principle. So this is what written here. If this principle would not have been followed, then there will be a constant temptation on the part of the insured to destroy his goods or property intentionally to order to earn profit. Okay, that's why principle of insurance is not a contract of profit. If this principle would not have been followed, then the insurance company will also suffer loss, because insurance company have to compensate a loss amount, a very huge amount of losses. Okay, and it will be getting a financial burden on the insurance company. Another important thing regarding this principle is that except life insurance contract, other insurances are included under the principle of indemnity. As the value of life cannot be quantified in a financial manner, that is how the life insurance contracts are not included under the principle of indemnity. So in today's video I have discussed about three principles: principle of utmost good faith, second one is the principle of insurable interest, and third one is the principle of indemnity. So in the next video I will discuss the other 4 principles of insurance. So go through the video, and if you are getting any doubt then you can ask me in the comment box. Thank you so much for watching.